Okay, so we're gonna be installing this InkControl board on JV33130. We have configured the board to ES3 4-color as per shown in our configuration video. You can check that out to see in detail how that's done. So the board is already configured as is shown in that video, and we're now going to be installing it on this JB33. To do that, we're going to need to know where the colors come up on the board connectors. They are labeled with J numbers, J10, 11, and so on. When you look at the software on the left side of the color bars, we see the J numbers there, so that tells us where on the board those colors are coming out. So we're gonna follow that and connect the board to the printer. Alright, so we're at the back of the cartridge brackets. We already disconnected the cables that read the information from the chips from their original location, and now we're going to connect it to these white connectors on the InkControl board. So I'm just going to be following what the software is displaying. So by following what's on the front of the printer, we need to find cable number 1, which pertains to magenta. So here's 7, 8, 6, 5. So cable number 1, 2. So 2 is also a magenta. We can all that 1, 2, and 1. So 1 and 2 are the magentas. And looking at the software, there's a for channel 1, a magenta is coming out on J9. We just need to locate J9, which is right here, and we connect the cable there. Number 2 is also a magenta. There's a second magenta on J7 for bank 1, and it's on the other corner, and we connect that. Now cables 3 and 4, which are cyan, following the numbering on the front of the printer. So 3 and 4 are the cyan. We look at the software information, and cyan comes out on J12, which is right there, and we connect cable 3. And now cable 4, it's the other cyan, which it comes out on J6, and J6 is right there on the other side. Okay, now we've connected 4 of the cables. The next cable we're gonna go, it's 5 and 6, which per the information on the front of the printer, 5 and 6 is yellow. So looking at the color bars on the software on the left side, there's a yellow on J11, and that's right there, and there's another yellow on J5, and right there is J5. Alright, and then the last 2 cables are for the black, and we're going to locate the black. Looking at the software, there's a black on J10, and that's right there. And cable number 8, the other black, it's on J8. And now we've completed the connections the board to the printer. Okay, now that we made all the connections, we're gonna power up the printer. And now the printer should be able to read the chip information from the board. And there we have the 4 green lights that you would get when using OEM cartridges. So there it is. Let me see if I can show you that. So so slot 1, 3, 5, and 7 are being selected to draw ink. For troubleshooting, there's a few features that I would like to show for troubleshooting. So if we look at the activity log on the software, we have a set of zeros, but after power up, if you click the update status button, you should get a set of 47s. So that means that those 8 channels, so we have 8 times 47, so that means those channels have been read, and the communication from the board to the printer is working correctly. If we update status again, it will take us to sets of 40. So this is typical of the printer idling. You're just gonna see 40 on all the channels that are active. One way to troubleshoot if your color connections and correlations are correct is to pull a cartridge out. So let's say if I'm gonna go over and pull out the magenta cartridge out and reinsert, and now if I update status, we're gonna see one number 47 there. So that's the channel that was read due to me pulling out and reinserting the cartridge. And if we look at the little squares on the left side of the color bars, you're gonna see there's a green square. So there's 7 squares that are purple, and one of them is green, the one on J9, and that's aligned with the magenta color bar. If for any reason that green square came out on a different color, then we would need to adjust the wiring so that when we pull out and reinsert the magenta cartridge, we need the green square to come up when we click update status, to come up on the left side of a magenta color bar. So that's triggered by that 47, which means the printer read the chip information on that channel. If we update status once again, it goes back to the idling values of 40. So this is a way to make sure the connections are all correct. If you're getting red lights that you don't understand why they're coming up. So we have the 4 green lights, and if we look at the printer screen, we now have all the colors at 9. So that's ES3 and everything is 9. Okay, so one more thing that I want to show is how to power the board from the printer. So we've pulled out CN14, which is the original cable on the printer is this cable here, and we attached this adapter cable that then allows us to tap into the 5-volt circuit on the printer. So we're gonna now we connect the adapter piece at the location where the original cable was, which is CN14. We plug that in, and now we have at the other end we have the 5-volt cable coming out. So this taps into the 5-volt power of the printer, and we now connect the 5-volt cable to the board, which is connected right next to the USB cable, right there at J23. So now the board will be powered from the printer or from USB. So if you disconnect the USB, the board will still be powered, and so USB is not required anymore for powering, only for communications and setting up the board. And that concludes the installation of the InkControl board.